let's get to the Oregon Duck Hall of Famer, Anthony Newman, who was down there for the action today. And Anthony, as I always like to ask you, Dusty, Dirt, what stood out to you in this game as the Ducks? They don't get the shutout, unfortunately, but they do get the dominant victory over Oregon State.
Well, I want to ask you guys a question. How many quarters are there in football in a game?
4, I believe, as far as I know.
15-minute quarters.
And then let me ask you this. Are these kids perfect? Can they be perfect?
They can strive to be, but they won't always be.
They can strive to be. Yeah. They can strive to be. You're looking for perfection, but it can't happen because they're human beings. Kids will make mistakes. And when you make a mistake, the other team will capitalize on that mistake and get extra yards or have a great catch. It's an hour. Well, it's a 3-hour football game, but you talk about an hour game of playing and getting after it. The other teams, they're getting coached too. They're going to get something. What I'm looking at, what's the final? Okay, because it's 4 quarters of football. I tell our kids all the time, you got to play 4 quarters. They may get 1 quarter, they may get half a quarter, but it takes 4 quarters to beat us. And when you look at this football team, Oregon State, you hold a team, a D1 team, to 67 yards rushing. You hold them to 80 yards passing, a total of 147 yards in today's football, in today's offense. The spread? Are you kidding me? To me, that's a domination. Even though they did a little bit the first half, and they drove a little bit, and they ran a little bit. Yes, it's a boxing match. You jab, you try to figure out, will this defense work? Sometimes coaches don't. They're set up. They're going to set up just like an offensive coach is going to set up an offensive play. The defensive coaches are going to do the same thing. Let's call this and let's be vanilla to see if this works later on. Let's show some stuff that or let's not show some stuff the first half that we're going to show the second half, so they can't go in the locker room and adjust to it. So that's why it's 4 quarters of football. This Oregon State team is not very good. I get it, and everybody wants 75-0, but it's the game is made for offense to win. Offense is going to move the football. They're going to get maybe some points, but today it was like, hey, that's what I'm talking about. Oregon came out and did what they needed to do against a football team that's not very good, and 41-7. That's still, 41 points. That's not basketball. That's a lot of. In today's game, it's open. Yeah, you're going to score points, and then you hold them to 7. A D1 football team. It's not Montana State. We're not playing Idaho.
No,
that's my say. So sorry, I'm going off. But
no, continue, please.
This game deserves you going off. Are you kidding me?
Oh, Anthony,
but it was fun to watch.
Well, damn right, I absolutely agree with you. There's something that I think that you should take away, though. Listen, yes, you can't play a perfect game, but just like they did against Northwestern, in my opinion, Oregon did give some teams, like Penn State next week, the ability to not beat them, but hey, here's how to slow us down. Oregon State watched what Northwestern did against Oregon, those 2 long drives. Like, it's simple. You keep a fast-scoring team off the field, that means their offense gets less chance of a score, but it's a lot harder to do that than just to say it, and we've now seen 2 teams in a row do that against Oregon. I'm just worried that Penn State, like specifically, Anthony, what was the main reason the Beavers were able to get so many hands-on passes by Dante Moore? I'm concerned that Penn State's going to watch that film and figure out how to crash on the offensive line and tip the ball at the line.
Well, that's smart. It's Dante Moore. He's not a short quarterback. He's 6'3", 6'4". For some reason, these guys happen to get their hand up and knock the ball down. And yes, Penn State's going to look at that and say, okay, we can have some opportunities to do that. But if you start concentrating on sticking your hand up, now you're not getting the pass rush. And then what Dante Moore is now, what he's going to do is counter that. He's going to run out of the pocket. So you can't do that. And you don't want a quarterback who can run the football out of the pocket, because now he's buying more time for the receivers downfield to get open. I just think, it's a rival game. You got 2 teams that, and I don't know if these kids on both teams really know it's that heated because a lot of them are new, a lot of them are young. I don't know if they know the history of it. Matter of fact, it's funny. My son-in-law, Jaden Grant, he came home from Canada they had a bye last week, and then he came home and he went to Corvallis, and the coach Trent told him to go talk to the kids, and he came back and said, Anthony, I don't know none of those kids on that football team at Oregon State. I was just there 2 years ago. I know none of them, maybe one. I'm thinking, wow, that's a turnover. I mean, are you kidding me? So what I'm saying to that is these kids don't know what type of game this is. This is the rival game, the intense, all the things that happen with this football game. And, Oregon State just came out and said, okay, let's just go play football. We got nothing to lose. And they moved the ball, and they had some stops. And Oregon wasn't perfect because they're human. Guys are making mistakes. Guys ran wrong routes. Guys didn't pick up the right blitzers. There was a broken coverage. First one, it's the second one I've seen all year. And now Oregon's had maybe on defense 180-something plays, and there's 2 broken coverages. Come on. That's great. That is outstanding. And somebody in that secondary, and they're all young. They're all babies. They forgot who they had. And it's going to happen. Now, you learn from that, and you move on. You get better. So when you play the Penn State, you understand, hey, we can't have that. We got to be sharp. We got to be focused. We have to have communication. And you need those things to happen, okay, to get yourself better. They always say, when you win, it masks mistakes. It hides mistakes. So you got to figure out, wait, we made some mistakes. You want to make mistakes when you win so you can go fix them. I'm going off again. I'm sorry.
I love this, Anthony. You're
this game will do something to you. We get it, man. We get it. I mean, to stay on the secondary though, I want to ask. I mean, what are you seeing from these guys to where they're just able to keep opponents in shackles? I mean, another game of no passing touchdowns given up, and now on the season they have given up 480 passing yards total for about 118, 119 a game. I mean, that's unreal. And as you said, I mean, it's a young crew. What are you seeing from the secondary that has led to just such a successful start for this unit?
These guys are just so good at what they do. And here's the deal. When you look at, so I always, right before the game, I get on the field and I stand by the secondary and I watch all their drills. They are so tall and long. It is just unreal. I mean, I'm telling you, it looks like, this is a basketball team. These guys are 6'4", 6'3", 6'5", and long. And usually when you have corners, they're not that tall. They're about 5'11", 6 feet, maybe 6'1", is your corners. No, not with Oregon. So the length is it's helping them when the quarterbacks are trying to throw the football. You got 6'3" receivers, but now you got 6'4" DBs. It makes a difference. The receivers can't get off the line of scrimmage because the wingspan of the corners, they're jamming them from 3 yards away from the guy. I mean, it's funny. And then also they're so athletic. It's crazy. And when you watch the safeties, they come downhill. Thieneman is physical. So you got cover corners that can cover, and then you have safeties that will light you up, and that is the ingredients for success.
Well, Anthony, keep that energy because they got a big one next week, the biggest one probably of the entire season as they travel across the country and go to Penn State for the whiteout game, man. But great day down in Eugene, big win for the Ducks. Thank you for jumping on with us, and we will catch you next week, my man.
Hey, I was fired up because of the Beavers, so I was just happy we won. That's why I'm fired up.
We got it.
I'm good now, but
I said this morning, I was like, I know that people are lacking juice for this game. Anthony Newman's not one of those. I ain't got to worry about him.
You're exactly right.
You never lost to the Beavers, right, Q?
No, never.
That's
never.
What I'm talking about, man.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Thanks.
That was Anthony Newman, former Oregon Duck, NFL pro. I love hearing him on the post game, pre-game, all the coverage for this game because it seems like the guys that played in this series played in these games, regardless of what the situation is currently. they don't give an F. They're like, this is still a civil war. I still hate Oregon State. I still hate Oregon. Like, there is still that animosity for the people that were involved in these games throughout all the years. And I love that he was just giving these long-winded answers because he's excited. He loves this game, and he loves it when it goes the Ducks' way.
Yeah, I heard Dan Letting talking about the team, specifically talking about how he wanted to impress upon his guys the importance of this rivalry leading up to this week. And a couple of guys that have played in the game before spoke to those younger guys. It's a pretty telling sign of where we are in college football, though, when you got a kid that's on the roster 2 years ago, now in the professional ranks in the CFL, comes back and literally nobody on the roster is there. The coaches are gone. The players are
wild.
gone. It just goes back to, like, Oregon State fans have a reason to be pissed. But, man, if the players aren't caring, I understand why the fans aren't really caring about the rivalry on that end either, right? Because we've heard from Beavers fans, like, poo-poo on the Ducks. It doesn't matter to us anymore. But, like, they're just mad because Oregon didn't try to, like, pal up with him and bring him into the Big Ten. But that wasn't going to happen. It was never going to happen.